Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris the High Guy Jacobs, and today we're taking a look at something that has been a bother since its release, simply giving people a pain in the butt, and I'm here to make it just a little bit easier for you. It's something that has some people questioning how to use it and what exactly its benefit is, but I'm here to tell you it's probably one of the better advancements that the game has added. Specifically because free-to-play players have such an opportunity in this position. What I'm talking about today is the Survivor's Camp. The Survivor's Camp is something that allows you not only passive buffs, but it provides you with some really key things. Even if you do spend a little bit, it does provide you with some key attributes that are fundamental to this game, specifically with how important some of these things are. First, we're going to go through it and tell you a little bit about what survivors are, what the ace survivors are, how to rescue them, all that kind of stuff, where you get signaling devices from, and then obviously we'll talk about how to use the survivors to the best of their abilities. Survivors now are an addition to the game that is kind of like heroes, but not really. So now we've got heroes, we've got survivors, we've got vehicles, we've got armaments, we've got beasts now, and they all add layers of context because they all interact a little bit differently with each other. What I mean by that is, if you look, for example, at your vehicles are going to be passive buffs that are applied throughout everything. So you don't have to equip your vehicles in order to benefit from their buffs. Survivors have a passive buff as well as an active buff, okay? Armaments are an active buff. They have to be activated on the march specifically to give you benefits. That's why they have to be added to your heroes specifically, and they're attached to the individual marches, okay? Survivors have a little bit of both. They've got some passive buffs and some active buffs, and we'll talk about those here shortly. First and foremost, when you click on your survivors button and you go into it, what you're going to see is that you have a total of 54 survivors to collect. Each survivor will also level up to a max level of level 50. So there's a ton of leveling that goes on, but the truth of the matter is there are tons of avenues in this game to get signaling devices where you search for the heroes, search for survivors, pardon me, and tons of avenues to get the special survivors as well. So truth be told, even for free-to-play players, like I haven't spent anything on my heroes, and I'm still at level 12 on some of my legendaries. Yes, I have some that are still level 1. These are unfortunately the harder ones to get. These are the special survivors. I'll check in my bag and see if we have any. Let me see if I have any. No, I don't. So I've got survivor random folders. You can get some the special survivor folders, and that's going to get for those three special survivors at the bottom. Okay, these three down here. And I'll talk about these when we go into the tactical team because they've got the two icons. They're a little bit different and they are utilized a little bit differently, but they give them a little bit more play. But we'll talk about that when we go into tactical team. But first and foremost, all we're going to talk about is just how to summon them and then what that's going to do for you. So you're going to go survivor rescue. You're going to earn these signaling devices. You're going to select one or all or however many you want to go, and you're going to basically summon fragments. Each level the level of fragments required is going to go up depending on the level of the hero that it is, just like your talents do or your skills do for your heroes. And the higher level it is, obviously the more expensive it's going to cost. So my Leah, for example, next level is going to cost me 35 fragments, whereas the next level for Fawn is only 10 fragments. Okay, you're going to start to collect these survivors, and as they level up, they provide basic attributes. Now, these basic attributes, like I was talking about, these survivor attributes here, these are all passive buffs. This means that these buffs are active all the time. Okay, so we're getting a free construction speed up of 37 minutes, cut off the speed of the construction time, 36 minutes, cut off research time. Training speed is increased by 3.5%. It's now cheaper to train, heal speed goes up, hospital capacity goes up. So there's tons of things, even into your attack, defense, and HP of your individual troop types and travel speed. So there's tons of ways to benefit from having these survivors leveling up just passively as they do. Now, can you spend a bunch of money into it? Absolutely. Some whales already have, and they're going to have level 50 survivors. But this is one of those situations where you don't actually need to. you can collect all of the survivor stuff, or 99% of the survivor stuff without spending a single dime. Okay, so that to me is one of the reasons why it's one of the better additions. Next, you get this passive buff as well, these bond attributes. As you level up these heroes and collect them, you will get these additional bonuses, right? And we're talking an additional 10% gathering bonus eventually. Rating resources goes up by, I believe it's another 10%, right? 10% rated resources. A healing cost goes down by 10%. So as you're leveling up your survivors, you're getting these passive buffs as well. And they end up being a decent amount, right? Squad damage reduction, infantry squad damage, rider squad damage, range squad damage, right? Flat damage buffs and flat damage reduction buffs. Fantastic. So all done passively. And all you have to do is summon them and level them up. Easy peasy. Okay, and that's all done through the Survivor Rescue, which you're going to be getting for free. There are some things that make this a little bit different though, in the sense that we have the Ace Survivors. Now, this is probably, again, it is a pay-to-win situation. In order to get the level 1, like each level costs, I think, $100, so it's $500 to level each one out themselves. So you might not want all of them, but I'll go through them so you'll know what they do. Arthur here is going to allow you to set at max level 5 queues to hunt zombies automatically. So you can set them to hunt zombies. You can go away and do whatever you want. When you come back, you'll have a whole bunch of zombies cleared. Yes, it does clear your stamina, so it's not like it's free zombies. But you'll come back to a whole bunch more, and you get a bonus zombie kill experience so you can help level up your heroes and stuff like that, while you're AFK. The one that I would suggest everyone does look at, though, is Isabel. If you are going to spend in the game, you should be looking at getting Isabel. This is an auto-gathering situation and providing a 30% gathering speed. So now you can have, at max level, 5 squads going all day gathering, which means that you never have to worry about the gathering aspect again, which, if you know about this game, you understand how important gathering is. Resource management in this game is absolutely atrocious. You need to be on top of it. Once you get to tier 6 and above, events are incredibly expensive. But I believe that's how it's designed so that people spend money. So this way is some of those efficient ways to spend money so that you can actually take advantage of what the game is giving out. So if you're going to spend on anything, this is one of those ones to spend on. Now we do have Adrian. Adrian is a bit of a funny story. I'm not sure exactly why he's there, but he does allow you to join rallies, alliance rallies. It allows you to join 5. So instead of having 1 march for your auto rallies, this will allow you to do 5. And instead of doing, setting it where you can only do 15 or 1,500 stamina or whatever it is, now you can set it up to 30, right? So this is going to allow you to do a lot more rallies. I'm not sure exactly if this allows you to do the other, if this allows you to join the other rallies like the Prowler rallies and stuff like that, just not the basic ones that you had before. I'm not sure because I haven't spent money on them. But those are the 3 options. So you've got Arthur, Isabel, and Adrian. They are expensive. Like I said, $500, I believe, 500 American to level up. So just make sure that you're looking at, which one's going to create you the best, the best benefit. I think Isabel's the best, followed by Arthur, and then Adrian third. But here's the thing. Once you have them rescued, and once you have them, and you're simply leveling them up, now the question is, well, what do we do with them? Because you said that there's an active buff. And yes, there's an active buff. So if we go into survivors and we go into tactical team, you'll notice you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 setups, right? Where you can select a hero and you can deploy a tactical team with that hero. And as we look here, the tactical teams are composed of a hero and a group of survivors. Each team can only have 1 hero as its team leader. Every tactical team has specialty requirements, and only survivors who match the team's specialties can join the team and fight alongside the hero. Tactical teams of assistant heroes will not take effect in the battle. So this is what it's saying, is that these 3, just like armaments, only attached to the leader and are only effective on the leader, these heroes, right, these survivors are only beneficial to the leaders of your marches. So your heroes are always going to be the leaders that you use, the leaders of your marches. But here's the biggest thing. When you're equipping them, let's go ahead and just equip this one here. And we'll notice here, it says infantry, 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 right? So all that we can put in this position are any of the heroes that have this blue icon. We can use this one because she's got the blue icon, and we can put James there because he's got the blue icon, right? We can put them there. That's no problem. But in this situation, we're looking at just infantry. Now, people have asked, does that mean that you can only lock them? Because this one says infantry, this one says riders, this one is ranged. Infantry again with a special, riders again with the special, and ranged again with the special. Now, so people have asked, do you have to make those specific to those heroes? And the answer is no. Because although the survivor is locked to infantry in the sense that that's where its skill is, if you look at some of these things, right? Shield effect, that's not specific to infantry. Squad counter damage, not specific to infantry. Infantry squad HP, that is specific to infantry. So if I'm doing, for example, in my position, I'm an infantry main. I want to get as much infantry bonuses as I can. So I'm going to look at my leaders. I've got Thunder as my garrison. I've got Bodala as a leader. I've got Adut as a leader, and I've got Robert as a leader. Okay, these are the 4 lines that I'm going to be dealing with inside of my the 4 leaders inside of my survivor situation, inside of my tactical team. So I want to put my garrison line first, but because I'm a garrison main, I also want to give him the best benefits possible. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put my Thunder garrison lead right in this position here. Okay, infantry, special one, which we'll talk about here in a second. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I want to go through and give him what I think is going to be some of the better buffs. I want him to have squad HP because squad HP is important. I want him to have squad counter damage because counter damage is important, especially for Thunder, who's missing damage to begin with. And then here, I'm going to go and look just a little bit differently and see if I can find, because now I can put any of the 3 heroes here, any of the 3 specifics. But remember, I don't have to put, like this one here, even though it's ranged, is not specific. It's just reducing damage against rider squads. Skill damage taken by troops goes down, right? So they're not specific to infantry only. I can use them here as well. AoE damage. So if Thunder did AoE damage, you could give him more AoE damage. Basic attack damage taken, right? You can make him tankier that way. But what I want to do is come up to the top and look at these ones here, right? For this one here, I'm going to go infantry squad attack and squad counter damage. So now what happens is I'm getting both of those passive buffs. So now my Thunder is also getting a bonus squad HP. When he goes out, his squad gets a bonus 0.8% HP, 0.8% squad damage, plus an extra 0.6, so 0.1 or 1.4% squad damage, and 0.6% attack, which goes up as those heroes level. Okay? Now, I can go down to some of these other ones that are higher level, right? I could put this one here, but my legendary is higher. I could, if I really wanted a bonus to HP, I could go ahead and take this one out and put that other one down there, right? The infantry squad HP, though I like the squad counter damage more. So depending on your buffs, it gives you a lot of freedom. Okay? So here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and save this, right? So we've got this one saved. This is my setup for Thunder, right? In my Ironclad Elites, this is my setup for Thunder. He's getting squad HP, he's getting some bonus counter damage, some bonus counter damage, and some infantry squad attack, which is going to help him on defense. But remember, I have 3 other infantry leaders that I want to deal with. So let's look at Bodala, because Bodala is my next strongest. Now, I want to give Bodala the benefit of everything that I can, damage that I can, right? So let's go here. Let's put him in this side of things, right? Let's put Bodala here. Let's deploy him. And then let's look at buffs that are not specific to riders. So I can do something like, well, any of these ones. Basic attacks have a 10% chance to deal 112% damage to the current target. So I could do something like that. Now he's going to be dealing more damage with his basic attacks. I can look at going down here, skill damage dealt. Though I don't need the range squad attack. Let's see if there's the other special one that I can put in here instead. Rider squad attack. Squad's basic attack damage. I'm probably not going to use that one. So we'll go back up to the top and we'll take a look at the infantry. Because I think the infantry is the ones that we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to put shield effect in here because Bodala's got a shield. So now he's got a stronger shield. Right? So now he's dealing more damage. He's got the chance to deal more damage. And then here, let's go and make him a little bit tankier and say skill damage taken by the troop goes down. So now he has more damage dealt. He's got, he becomes more tanky and he's got a better shield. So now I've put him in the rider position, but he's getting the buffs from that and still able to use them. So can you go ahead? Absolutely you can. Next, let's look at a dut. Let's see if we can put a dut over here. Right? Let's go into a dut. Let's deploy her. And see if we can benefit at all from that. Truth be told, I'm actually going to go back here a second. I'm actually just going to go back here and remove all these guys from this. Because if I can't benefit from putting the second slot in here, then I'm not actually going to benefit from putting the second slot in there. I'm just going to put him over in flash in the recruits over in this side instead. But, man, you know, thinking about it, and this is one of those things. This gives you lots of things to think about. When I say context, there's lots of things to think about. I'm actually going to put Bodala here. And I'm actually going to... Hold on. I'm actually going to put Bodala here. And then we're going to go like this. We're going to go shield effect because I want to give as much benefit as I can to him. So shield effect. Let's go infantry squad... Defense, infantry squad damage, shield effect, attack, and defense. Damage reduced against ranged squads. That's nice. So now Bodala is going to have a bonus shield, bonus infantry attack, and then bonus damage, flat damage reduction against ranged squads. Okay, so we're going to put him there. Now, like we mentioned, though, we want to talk about, like we've put him in his. We've shown you how you can actually do it, so let's actually go ahead and do it. Let's go into here. Let's go ahead and put a dut in here, because that's my next hero, right? And let's go ahead and equip her with some heroes. Skill damage taken by troops, I can go ahead and put that one on. Makes her a little bit tankier. Right, for skill damage. I can sit here and make her basic attacks do a little bit more. And then damage dealt to ranged squads. I can make them hit a little bit harder against ranged. Which, ideally, is something that they lack. So that makes it a little bit nicer for them, right? Now, I can scroll a little bit lower if I wanted to. And see if I can find, like, squad counter damage we can. But he's already deployed. So there's lots of ways that we can kind of make this work. But now we have a dut in the rider situation, right? In the rider slot, still getting the benefits from that. Right? And then lastly, let's go ahead and look at Robert. We're going to put Robert in here. We're going to deploy him. And then we're going to go ahead and put... let's see. Let's go ahead and go AoE damage because Robert's got AoE. Let's go with some... What else can we do? Damage reduced against rider squads. And then basic attack damage taken. Right? So all of a sudden now, he's getting all of these buffs. Just as much as everything else. So now, I've got 4 infantry lines, even though I've got riders and ranged buff, quote-unquote buff givers in here. Okay? Now, because I only have 2 other leaders, one of which is a rider and one of which is a ranged, pardon me. Let's go ahead and outfit these guys as well. So we're going to outfit Cynthia because she's my leader right now because obviously I need just the speed. We're going to outfit her here with some rider HP, some damage reduced. No, let's give her some defense. And then lastly, we can give her Fawn, some both rider squad attack and squad basic attack damage. All right. And then lastly, we'll go here and we'll outfit our top ranged hero. Okay. Deploy Julia. She's running with Lewis because that's the best that I have right now. And then we're going to sit here and give some squad HP. Let's give some squad additional damage dealt to infantry squads. Makes her punch a little bit harder. And then lastly, we're going to go with the special one, Anna, giving some skill damage and some ranged squad attack. So now my survivors are all done, but I've got 4 infantry leaders inside my team. My 4 main ones are getting the best that they can. Okay? But that's really what it comes down to with survivors. A lot of the context is that you think that you're only getting the buffs, right? Like you can't really tell where the buffs are coming from or when they're coming on. But from what we can tell, this is the easiest way to say it. Once you're collecting your survivors, those are passive buffs. As you equip them, they become active buffs, and they provide the additional buffs to the leaders, okay? So they're just like armaments. You're basically equipping them to the leader. Don't put them on your co-leaders. Don't put them on your gatherers. Don't put them on any of that kind of stuff. You're putting on them the leaders of your marches. And as they level up, they make your marches stronger, okay? So always, always, always keep that in mind. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is all for survivors. That is about as much as you need to know. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. But it really is that simple. It's not as complex as they want you to think it is. It does add some context, but it's not nearly as complex as that. You can make it work to your benefit, just like I've shown you. Go ahead, go out there and take those survivors and use them to your benefit, okay? Other than that, folks, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends. Anybody who's questioning how survivors work, let's get the information out there and help them out too. Other than that, folks, love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.